Hey everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic.com, back again with another big news update. We have news of Khabib Nurmagomedov from the UFC, you know that lad. He's put out a very interesting tweet today about WWE, so we'll get into that a little bit. We also have news on Kevin Owens' injury and how long he's going to be out for. And finally, remember the last news update where I talked about Dave Meltzer reporting that people were unhappy backstage at New Japan Pro Wrestling because of the new regime led by Harold Mai and all that sort of thing. The boy Harold Mai's only gone and come back with a retort on his blog, firing shots, Harold Mai. It's going to turn into a diss track soon. This is like Eminem Machine Gun Kelly all over again. Let's get into all of the news. First and foremost, we do have to talk about Khabib because for those who don't know, if you've been living under a rock, Khabib is now the most talked about man in UFC of the moment right now. He destroyed Conor McGregor in their recent fight and then jumped the cage, the octagon, jumped it, attacked Conor McGregor's jiu-jitsu coach who'd apparently been trash talking him all fight. Then it all kicked off a big brawl. There were various little pockets of incidents. It's all up in the air who's to blame, and I believe that the UFC have temporarily suspended both men while they try and sort the mess out. However, the long and short of it is that Khabib's stock has now risen immeasurably. He's now, at the moment in time, one of the most talked about and famous athletes on the face of the planet. For now, for the moment. I'm not saying that that'll always be the case forever, but as of now, he's trending. He's trending worldwide, you could say. And that means that everyone's watching his every move on social media. And one very interesting move that he made this morning on Twitter was to suggest that WWE have come in with a deal for him. Yes, that tweet read something along the lines of, I'll flash it up on screen, or our editor, Will Richard. WWE asked me to come in for a fight or something. Hashtag smash Lesnar, hashtag fake fights. Now, in one fell swoop there, Khabib has suggested, well, A, that WWE may have come in with a bid for him, B, that he wants to fight Brock Lesnar in the ring, and C, he knows that wrestling's not real and that it's fake. So Khabib is now light years ahead already of like almost every single wrestler around at this stage of their careers. He's already worked out how to work a crowd with like subliminal, postmodern meta, referring to wrestling, knowing that it's fake. He's like Russo, he's like CM Punk. It's crazy. The main question here is obviously whether it's true or not. And you know what? I think that it wouldn't be too big a surprise if it was true. If Vince McMahon had taken one look at Khabib and gone, we need him in WWE right now. Especially with Khabib being temporarily suspended and threatening to quit the UFC if they sack one of his fellow fighters in his training camp who was involved in the brawl. Also, I think this means that WWE might identify Khabib as someone who could be easily swayed away from UFC, especially with a big paycheck. And also, just look at WWE's track record. Ronda Rousey, Brock Lesnar, Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, the four horsewomen of MMA. You know, they've got such an interest now in the world of mixed martial arts, even more than previously in their history with the likes of Ken Shamrock and Dan Severn, but now especially, that it wouldn't be too big a surprise to me. And there were rumours in the past of them offering Conor McGregor a deal, where this guy, maybe not on the mic, but in terms of notoriety, is very much the new Conor McGregor. Moving on now to actual wrestling news, Kevin Owens, unfortunately, according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, will miss 4 to 8 months of action while he recovers from injury. This was a break that was scheduled. Apparently Owens needed it and will need to recover from some sort of surgery. But at the same time, the way they did it, I think, was pretty clever. They did it and used it in a way on Monday Night Raw to turn Bobby Lashley heel. He went for Kevin Owens' legs, attacked them, and now Kevin Owens has some time off to rest and recuperate and hopefully return with a big full steam of momentum as a babyface potentially, because that was a double turn angle and Lashley is now a heel. But yes, Meltzer's predicted time frame is 4 to 8 months, which I guess means that we could see Owens back for the Royal Rumble, which would be very... Oh, no, we couldn't. Well, we could if they lied a little bit in a John Cena fashion, but he could come back for the Rumble, could come back for WrestleMania, that sort of time, and that would be, I think, the most effective time to bring Kevin Owens back, especially if it was to get revenge on someone who's wronged him in the past, like Lashley. So we'll just see what happens in that regard, I guess. But best wishes to Kevin Owens, get well soon. And finally, let's talk about the boy, the absolute boy, Harold Mai over in New Japan. So it's all been kicking off online recently, right? Basically, Meltzer, as I said in the introduction to this video, accused New Japan of having a backstage atmosphere that was no longer good. People were no longer happy. Wrestlers were feeling like factory workers on a production line. They didn't think that the new regime were wrestling guys. They didn't understand the business. They have little confidence now. Then it's all been sort of turned around. The tables have turned in the space of just a few days. Tama Tonga came out on Twitter and vehemently defended New Japan Pro Wrestling, saying, I've not seen any evidence of that at all. I've always been happy here. Then Harold Mai wrote a blog post that's just kind of exposed Meltzer for being a little bit misinformed on this occasion. So a crucial part of Meltzer's initial report in The Observer was a man named Michael Craven, who is apparently the new general manager, not a kayfabe position, not like Teddy Long, like an actual general manager behind the scenes at New Japan Pro Wrestling. And apparently this Michael Craven guy is not a wrestling guy at all, doesn't understand the business, would make strange comments to wrestlers, wouldn't earn their respect, and basically just stuck out like a sore thumb. Harold Myers come back and said, not only did you get this guy's position wrong, it's not general manager, you also got his name wrong. There is no Michael Craven. This was really weird. And then it all surfaced on the New Japan Pro Wrestling subreddit, where the guy who actually, I think, who initially shared the post or made the post about Harold Myers' blog post, has now said, yeah, I can actually clarify what Harold Myers is saying because I live in Tokyo as a recruiter and I know a Michael Craven who works for a local recruitment firm. And that's exactly what Meltzer reported. And the guy rang him, he was like, I rang Michael the other day and apparently he's been getting hate mail and death threats from wrestling fans despite not having anything to do with the wrestling business. This is some like Coen Brothers burn after reading, weird, like crazy stuff going on. I don't know what to make of it. So either Meltzer got it wrong and Michael Craven's an innocent man who shouldn't be getting bombarded with hate mail and death threats. And to be fair, even if he was in New Japan and was making a little bit of a mess of things, don't send someone death threats. But also, the other possibility is that there are two Michael Cravens in Tokyo. So on that spooky note, it's time to call an end to this news piece. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Jack from Cultaholic.com. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to Jack the Jobber. You can follow all of us at Cultaholic and check out our Patreon as well if you want to, patreon.com/Cultaholic. And never forget, of course, if you haven't already, to hit subscribe and to join us.